We get topped up to 5 free transfers next week, so I need to use my transfer for game week 15, and my team sure needs it. In today's team selection video, we're taking a look exactly who that transfer could be, who I could captain, as well as how I expect to line up ahead of that game week 15 deadline. So, let's get into this. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's team selection video. Of course, for game week 16 we're getting 5 free transfers, so I'm looking to use my 1 free transfer this week to really boost my team up, because it's not looking as strong as I thought it would, with a few injuries creeping up. If you are brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I make FPL videos to help you guys at home by just clicking the little red subscribe button. It does make a massive difference, and make sure you like today's video as well. That's a great way to support my small FPL channel. But we're going to get stuck into the defence here. There's already an issue to speak about, but I want to briefly speak about the rotation of Arsenal defenders here, because of course in game week 14 my Arsenal defence go ahead and get a clean sheet, but only one of them started the game, and that was David Raya. Timber and Saliba weren't on from the start. Saliba didn't feature whatsoever within the squad. Timber coming on at roughly 44 minutes, not really doing too much for me, which was incredibly disappointing. But I'm hoping for an Aston Villa away match, you know, a much harder fixture for Arsenal, that these two players will be starting the game. It does make sense for them to start. Aston Villa have been doing very well recently, very quietly, but doing extremely well. So I'm hoping that these defenders are ready to be playing. There's no concerns about David Raya. It's mainly Timber and then mostly Saliba with that yellow flag. Didn't feature within the squad against Brentford. Maybe there's a bit more of an injury than Arteta actually told us. Arteta did say it would be a few days, which was the Brentford game, but of course decided to rest him for that fixture, which is fair enough. You know, it's at home, a bit of an easier fixture as well. The last defender to speak about is Virgil van Dijk. Of course, I am a Sunderland fan, so I'm very, very happy about the draw. I honestly feel like Sunderland maybe could have got 3 points in that fixture. Liverpool weren't exactly, you know, fantastic. I just think Sunderland were a better team there. And my worry is going away to Ellen Road. It's a tough place to go, and we've seen that with Chelsea and the way Liverpool are currently playing. Yes, it's maybe slightly better than it was before. I think they are improving. It's just a difficult place to go. It needs to be a physical game. They need to be at it from the off, otherwise they'll end up with the same fate as Chelsea and losing that game. So yeah, I'm not exactly hopeful for the clean sheet here, but we know defensive contributions are pretty great for Virgil van Dijk, so at least I can expect a baseline of hopefully 4 points this game week if they can't secure the clean sheet. I mean, we've got Anderson on the benches here as well, so you could look at Saliba and go, well, let's put Anderson on there, not risk it in case Saliba just comes on at some point. But I do think it's kind of 0 minutes or 90 minutes for Saliba in this game in particular. So I'm quite happy to play him in it. Anderson is there for backup though, so we don't really need a defensive transfer this week in my opinion, unless we hear news that Timber could be rotated within this game as well, which isn't out the realms of possibility. Of course, Ben White did do okay in that Brentford game as well. So yeah, no transfers focused on this aspect of the team. So let's move up now to the midfielders. The midfield is decent this game week, but not quite perfect. We've got Minte, Bruno Fernandes, Reinders, Enzo and Semenyo. We'll start with Minte on this side here. It's a good fixture for him this game week against West Ham at home. Of course, Manchester United last night played West Ham, and yeah, Bruno captain didn't do what I thought it was going to do, lads. I'll be sure to tell you that. So maybe Minte, it's not even that good of a fixture, but I do think he's still a decent asset in FPL, and I quite like the fixture being at home. Bruno Fernandes, of course, disappointing captain for game week 14. Could I do it again against Wolves away? Potentially. It's more likely to go to Erling Haaland this game week though, even though he's playing my team Sunderland at home, and I'm going to the match. None of these, you know, midfield options here scream captain me, captain me. It just doesn't feel like a good week for them. Reinders, of course, with the Sunderland home fixture as well. He's probably the one that will leave my squad this game week. Yes, he started in the last fixture, but I don't know. It just doesn't scream out to me a game that he starts. I'm not 100% sure why I think that. It's just maybe the sort of track record of minutes he's had in recent weeks where he's not really been a favoured member of the squad. It kind of dampens the appeal of him ever so slightly as well. Of course, he scored in game week 14, but you know, there was a million goals in that match, and we really didn't expect that, did we? I honestly thought it was going to be like 2-1 Man City, 1-0 Man City, and that would be it. But yeah, we all know the scoreline, absolutely ridiculous. But happy he got a goal last week. I'm just unsure that he starts this game week, which is dampening the appeal of playing Reinders in my starting 11 this week. Enzo, now I wish I sold him in game week 14 and bought Cunha, even though Cunha didn't do anything in game week 14. I still think that was a really great opportunity to get Cunha in the side and actually move on a player like Enzo. His fixtures coming up aren't that great, and I do think he will remain in that deeper position until Caicedo's back. And when Caicedo's back, the fixtures just aren't amazing for Enzo. Palmer's back. They're maybe going to be competing for minutes ever so slightly. Maybe a system change, a position change for Enzo. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a great time to be owning Enzo Fernandez. He feels like he should have been moved on last week, or maybe even this week, but I'm just not sure I can do that with some of the other issues in my squad. Semenyo's an interesting one. Of course, loads of people are selling him. Everyone's sick of him. Completely fair enough. I think I'll hold him till Burnley. I'll show you that I can't quite get to Foden this week from Semenyo. I'm 0.1 million off, but I don't think I would really be looking to make that move anyway to Phil Foden this week. Yes, he's been amazing in the past 2 weeks, played a lot of minutes in the Premier League, but that's kind of my worry. He's played so many minutes recently. Champions League fixtures, the fixture congestion for December, I spoke about yesterday in my transfer tips video. I'm not 100% sure he's guaranteed 90 within this game, and maybe a few of the other games coming up in the future, just to protect his legs ever so slightly. But if he's fit and raring to go, 90 minutes could be easy for Foden. We'll see how it goes. It's a good fixture for him, but I sadly can't afford him straight from Semenyo this game week. After a successful game week 14 captain on Bruno Fernandes, we're back at it again for game week 15. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're on Erling Haaland captaincy this game week. I will speak more about captaincy in just a second, but firstly about Jean-Philippe Mateta. Of course, we spoke about his minutes in yesterday's video when I'm talking about the fixture congestion coming up. I am a little bit worried. In the Wolves game, he came off before 60. In the Burnley game, he came off in the 63rd minute. There is a bit of sort of caution with his minutes right now. Sarr's injured, which maybe increases his minutes ever so slightly. He's going to need players on the pitch to make that impact. And when you look at Palace's fixtures coming up, the ones in the Conference League, he's not really needed for. I'll be honest. No disrespect to the teams that Palace are playing, but I've never heard of them. I don't think they're going to have too much of a problem with just Nketiah doing a job there. But, you know, Fulham away, it's a decent fixture for Jean-Philippe Mateta and Crystal Palace. I just hope his minutes are decent. I really do. I will probably be leaving my side in the coming game weeks. I don't know when that'll be. It'll kind of be this week where I decide, you know, what's his minutes looking like, how could he be used in coming game weeks. Then I can really make that decision on whether to keep or sell Jean-Philippe Mateta. Of course, Erling Haaland versus Sunderland at home. He is my captain this game week. I am going to the Etihad Stadium to watch my team Sunderland play against Manchester City. I am terrified of Erling Haaland. I'm absolutely terrified of him. I'll be really honest with you, lads. I'm terrified of him. He could do so well against any team. And we are new to the Premier League. Yes, we're doing amazing. But Erling Haaland's a bit of a robot, isn't he? I don't know. My thought process with the captaincy armband this game week, yes, it's on Erling Haaland, but who else in my team really screams out to be captain this week? No one. Absolutely no one. Bruno Fernandes is the closest option for captaincy this game week to Erling Haaland in my eyes. We've seen how it went against West Ham. West Ham are terrible, man. Terrible, and they could only score one against them. I thought there was amazing opportunities for Bruno in the fixture, but they just didn't end up in the back of the net. He hit the post, I believe, twice. Just it didn't feel good. But when it comes to Erling Haaland's captaincy against Sunderland at home, Sunderland have played a lot of big teams so far this season. Firstly, Chelsea away, all 3 points for Sunderland in that game. We've played Arsenal at home. We drew against Arsenal at home. We then played Liverpool at Anfield, 1-1, drew against them. We come against City. I don't know. It does feel like a good fixture for Haaland as an FPL asset, but I don't expect them to be like loads of goals like there was in this Fulham fixture. And I know I said that ahead of the Fulham game because, the data tells us that Fulham don't really concede loads of goals. Man City leaked the odd 2. I thought it was maybe going to be 2-1 to Man City. And then that happened. And I was like, what on earth? So maybe in this game, that follows the same line. Sunderland don't concede more than 2 goals in the Premier League. I think it's only City and Arsenal and Sunderland, of course, who haven't conceded more than 2 goals within the Premier League so far this season. So maybe that theme continues. Maybe it's 2-2, like the Arsenal game was versus Sunderland. So, yeah, I think Erling Haaland is the strongest captaincy option. But Sunderland have been doing very well in the Premier League. And yes, I know I'm a Sunderland fan. I'm going to big them up to the day I die. But the results show that we've been very good. The data shows we've been doing very good. And look at us in the table, man. Yeah, I think Erling Haaland's the best captaincy. We'll leave it at that. Bruno Fernandes, he's tempting, but he's not that tempting after fucking game week 14, is he? So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Let me know what you think of the team in the comments. And, of course, drop all of your FPL questions in the comments because there isn't going to be a FPL deadline stream from myself this game week, as I will be at the Etihad Stadium. So I'm answering all of your questions like normal in the comments. I just completely outroed the video there thinking, oh yeah, that was it. I still haven't showed you the moves I can make this week. Do apologise for that, but here we are with some of the moves I could consider for game week 15. Reinders, of course, as I spoke in the video, was one of the targets that I could get rid of. We're looking at maybe Anderson of Nottingham Forest here. It feels like the easy transfer to make, going from sort of a cheap 5-ish million asset to another asset which is 5.4 million. The sort of fixtures coming up aren't amazing, but for an Anderson, we're just looking at getting defensive contributions every week, the odd goal and assist here or there within these fixtures. And if I do hold them long term, we've got sort of Everton and West Ham to look forward to. It feels like kind of a nothing transfer that doesn't do too much for me, but gives me a player who's going to play 90 minutes. I could also look at maybe going Enzo Lafay in. Yes, he's got City away this week, which would probably mean that Anderson comes in. It just gives me a little bit more money in the bank this game week to go into game week 16, where you get 5 free transfers, and I'll show you that now. 5 free transfers, and then sort of I can kind of play around with a bit more money in that game week, which might help me out ever so slightly. It depends who really impresses in game week 15 though, so that could be a move I do consider. I do think those 2 moves, the likely one is Anderson in this game week. There could be a defensive transfer in here if Saliba is out yet again. I do think I would get rid of him. Would I go straight back to an Arsenal defender? Probably not. I would probably go ahead and get Malik Chow of Newcastle. It is just the case that his fixtures are okay coming up. Burnley at home this week is fantastic. Sunderland away is not a good fixture for him. You've got Chelsea at home. I don't mind that. Then you've got United, Burnley, and Palace to follow, with, of course, the block of good fixtures in the future of Leeds and Wolves. So that could be a move I consider as well if Saliba is definitely out. But the main move I will consider this week is Anderson in and Reinders out. Unfortunately, there won't be a deadline stream from myself tomorrow, as I will be at the Etihad Stadium supporting my team, Sunderland. Of course, a massive thank you for your support on today's video. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and drop a like, and if you're not yet subscribed, click the subscribe button for future FPL content and FPL streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.